Hello friends, this is Cold Run. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. So the 6.0 main story quest is done, but this hub, a couple of hubs actually, of side quests have opened up in the wake of that. And so let's check them out. So the first one here in Ultima Thule is at Rayatara with Saylosk. Stars like gems. What is this weather? Astromagnetic storm, of course. How could I not notice that? Saylosk gazes longingly into the distance. Traveler, thy coming hath stirred a longing in me. You and Xenos both, my friend. From where I lie, I behold naught but a desolate waste. But perhaps life doth persist beyond my ken, the smallest of creatures or a single budding blossom. It may remain ever beyond my reach, for these wounds of mine heal not with time. Yet I would know of them. I would know if any cause for hope lingereth still upon our star. I believe in you, buddy. I beg thee grant me a reason to take heart. I guess hopefully we will give you a reason to take heart. I'm optimistic because this is something that came up in the wake of the defeat of the Endsinger. So, yeah, Dragonstar Rouge Blossom and Dragonstar Pale Blossom. Or Rogue Blossom, as some call it. The land is barren as far as the eye can see. No life is to be found here. Yeah, but the other two, there were two flowers that I did find. So there is cause for hope. There was Dragonstar Rouge Blossom, a red flower that presumably once flourished on the Dragonstar, and Dragonstar Pale Blossom, a white flower that, okay, yeah, presumably once flourished on the Dragonstar. Here you go. Have some cause for hope. Dost thou return with glad tidings? I do. Flowers, a joyous sight. Are there more whence these came from? You had to ask the tough questions. Didst thou find a thriving forest or a resplendent field? No, there were only two flowers and I plucked them to show you, thus killing them. These are sort of it. These are sort of it, yeah. I'm talking to your butt, but that's okay. 'Tis as I feared. To see it now, canst thou even imagine how our star once teemed with life? How it flourished beneath the golden sun and a trio of moons, stars shining like gemstones in the night. My brethren and I loved naught more than to soar amidst the clouds of green, teaching our eager hatchlings the delights of the hunt. These flowers once grew upon the mountaintops there, high among our clouds. So small did they seem to us, their fruit better suited to feeding our star's tiniest creatures. We rarely paid a single blossom any mind. Yet together, vibrant with the turn of the seasons, they were breathtaking. Would that I could return to appreciate the sight as we should have then. Isn't that the way of things? You appreciate the smaller things when they're gone, bigger things too. I had nearly forgotten what this world once was. Though it may never be so again, thou hast my gratitude for returning to me these precious memories. Yeah, even when there are things like that are gone, it's funny how that can matter, how those little things can add up. They have real value, even then. Next, as we go counterclockwise, or just to whoever's next that I feel like talking to, it's Sethtosk. Left alive. Sethtosk senses a kindred spirit within you. I sense the power of one of my kin upon thee. That of a great worm long departed from our star. Yes, me and Midgard, Sormer. Though his gaze falleth not upon thee now. It can. Maybe I should break him out as a minion. Midgard Sormer. That is the name by which thy kind know him. Long ago he left us, fleeing our home with his children. From thy presence I surmise that his decision was the right one. Some yet wish they had chosen the same path, though such regrets avail them naught. Nevertheless, tales of thy star may divert them from their anguish for a time. Shall I tell the tale of how his sister was gutted and her eyes ripped out? Seek those who would hear thee in Reatara and unto the vitrified isle, tiny mortal. Two with whom I would have thee speak abide within this very nest. One remaineth by the battlefield. Okay. The battlefield being the vitrified isle. Esk Khan. The great worm that did take leave of this star. Yes, I remember him well. Are there many such tiny creatures on the star whence he fled? There are many. Too many for the liking of some players. Many of all shapes and sizes, or there are many and they have formed their own nations. Yeah, let's go with they formed their own nations. A thriving world. Then thy star too knoweth war. Differences lead only to conflict. Sometimes they lead to richness, but often that richness does come about through conflict. No matter how far thou venturest, thou cannot flee from this truth. No more could I. This fate was inevitable. It must have been. Unfortunate tales to share. Not a wrong conclusion, though, if I'm being honest about it. I think it's a little bit of a wrong conclusion, but not wrong that differences and conflict were there. Kol Ale. Thou hailest from the star to which our brother fled. Tell me then, doth my home boast resplendent vistas as ours once did? Yes, it doth. There's vast blue seas stretching far into the horizon, wondrous islands that float among the clouds. Let's go with the wondrous islands, because I think that's more Dragonland. Ah, though I shall never soar again through the clouds, perhaps I may bask in the splendor of such isles when next I slumber. That's intensely sad. Oh, no, we'll come back for your quest in a little bit. We're heading to the Vitrified Isle. I don't know how many tales you're going to appreciate Deceased Dragon. You've been burned down to glass, basically. Never mind. Dost thou wonder who lieth beneath this veil of ash? 'Tis I, Gilgamesh. Oh, it's you. Hello. No, you're going to tell the story of what happened to this. Okay, that wasn't the ghost of the... Okay. Was with this worm at my side that I looked to the skies and saw thy Midgard Sormer departing to the great expanse. The machines were already upon us. He called to us, those of us who still lived, and begged us to follow him, that we might find another star and start anew. Alas, most branded him a coward who lacked the fire to defend his home. When he left was but his own eggs. Oh, that's incredibly sad. He had it right. And we know from Omega's report that he was one of the strongest of the dragons, so... But yeah, so I don't think he was a coward. I mean, you could be strong and a coward, but that was not him. The mightiest of the machines, gave chase as he fled, to many of my kin's jeering approval. The coward had proven useful, they said. However, some few did wish to follow him. Midgard Sormer was wiser, more formidable than most. This they believed. They knew he would forge a better fate than awaited us here. Would that they had not been halted by the ferocity of the machine's onslaught in the end. Thou hast my gratitude for coming so far to meet mine old friend. Thy tale means more to us than thou shalt ever know. Return with me now to Reatara. Thou art doubtless eager to away from this ill-favored place. It didn't hit me until just now that this was Seth Tosk speaking. This was the quest giver speaking. I thought this was just another dragon hanging around, but no. He did say visit my friend who's on the Vitrified Isle. Thou hast rendered solace unto us when we had naught but sorrow. I thank thee, Kukushu Kushu. You're quite welcome, and thank you for the Dream Ultima Thule bucks. Calm Nosk. Future's lost. Even now, post-Endwalker, post-Endsinger, this is still a brutally depressing place. Calm Nosk gazes upon you with sorrowful eyes. Tiny traveler, thou hast traversed the great expanse to stand before me. I ask thee, on thy journey didst thou find strength? Kakushu certainly did. None here have been spared the torment of loss, yet even tragedy cometh not in equal measure. You know what, this is a little bit more hopeful. This is like these side quests seem more about closure than, like, pure despair. Nay, maybe they hear the soundtrack. It's hard to be fully depressed when you hear this music. Nay, all of my kin, the brood sires feel it most deeply. Eggs crushed before their eyes, hatchlings twisted beyond recognition. They cannot be blamed for turning to madness. Never mind, this is still brutal. One I would have you slay, for mine own power sufficeth not to enter suffering. She yet wandereth restless near the ash-choked lake, and though naught but poison is to be found there now... Alright, let's head to the ash-choked lake and kill your beloved. And kill the brood mother who saw her hatchlings ruined and the eggs crushed before her. I hope everyone's having a good evening. Horrific thou art the murderer of my children. Horrific hatchling and a brood mother. Ugh, okay. So long have I been weary. I hope you enjoy your rest. Or I hope you at least find some peace in it, because it's not like everything the end singer said was wrong. As I said before, there are definitely some existences that will have more peace in being ended. Even aside from those that you end for the sake of others, you know, the tyrants and mass murderers and all that kind of stuff. Like, there are people who just, their lives are better. They'll be happier. Again, I don't want to get banned or demonetized is the term I hear from others. I don't want to get banned, is frankly the thing, because I don't make money off of this. So anyway, Calm Nosk. Thy countenance speaketh volumes, I thank thee. The metal demon struck without warning, beautiful and pitiless as falling stars. That's quite poetic. We fought, yes, yet for all our savagery we failed to protect the young. What few survived emerged from their eggs disfigured and screaming. Would that fate had taken a different course, we might have welcomed them to this world together and guided them unto a brilliant future. Midgard Sormer's children still live on, there's still dragons on my star. I have encountered young dragons in my travels, I have. Babies are still out there. Little hatchlings. But the young have found their place elsewhere. Our kind shall live on. I am gladdened to hear not all was in vain. May thy path lead thee true, traveler. Futures are not lost. I mean, futures have been lost, but not all futures are lost. There's still some futures available. Old Worm. Loud and proud. The old worm is displeased at the state of the spring. Oh yeah, it looks like polluted and oily and gross. Ere the mechanical menace descended, the spring before thee was clear as purest glass. Now behold the vile blight upon it. Should we do nothing? I'm sure there's a Cleveland joke I can make here. Should we do nothing? Naught shall remain save poison and black ash. Alas, my roar no longer rings loud enough to cleanse these waters, and my kin here fare little better. Yet at times I hearken unto a faraway call, strong and resounding, though I know not whence it cometh. Wouldst thou seek its source, that our wellspring might be saved? Sure, is there one? Is there like a loud, proud dragon on the horizon? Bloodthirsty dragon. I would not fain waste mine energies on thy lost cause, morsel. Begone with thee ere thou findest thou thyself betwixt my teeth. So we have to roast it. They may have fire breath, but we have the potential to roast. Apologies, I was unaware I was addressing a dragonette. It is kind of cute. Dost thou wish to be devoured? With my peerless roar shall I demonstrate the futility of thy pursuit. Then savor the despair upon thy countenance, when thou art forced to admit defeat. Get thee astride my back. I cannot abide watching thy stunted limbs struggle. Yeah, I've heard that before as Olala. Alright, where are we going? Search for a dragon with a formidable roar. Okay, we found that. I like that we get to ride on its back. What is the description for this? Emits a deafening roar charged with arcane dragon magics. Alright, let's roar at Kolale. Oh, I can't. The water ripples slightly, but you're unable to detect any significant changes. Now dost thou ken my wisdom? We may attempt another angle, shouldst thou thirst for greater despair. Yeah, you gotta... Give me all that. Give me the greater despair, friend. The spring appears slightly clear for a moment, but you're unable to detect any significant changes. We have to, like, insult its mom or something. Admit thy defeat. The spring shall never regain its lost splendor. Though if thy tale be true, thou art not the only fool in need of this lesson. Let us speak with that old worm. Oh, no! I bought the old worm's tail. I really thought that the roar would clear the spring. And it still might. Maybe the old worm will be able to, like, sass the small dragon enough. Old worm. Mayhap 'twas too much to ask that these waters would run clear once more. Bloodthirsty dragon. Thou shouldst know such dreams are folly. To live is one matter, but to hope. Old worm is not so futile as thou wouldst believe. Hearken closely. I drank of this spring not moments ago. It worked. A little bit. Though the difference be slight, it tasteth less brackish than before. Thine actions were not wasted. Thou sought to restore it to its crystalline state. Thy aspirations have failed, in sooth. However, I suppose 'tis proof enough that my roar still possesseth great power, despite the darkness that consumeth me. In that sense, perhaps thou art correct that some good resulted from mine efforts, and thine, morsel. A little change. It doesn't have to be a dramatic one. You had an impact, though. Nice job. I wonder if this could be a continuing quest, like have follow-ups and stuff. Probably not, but it would be nice to get like a chorus of dragons to come roar at the lake and clear it up. For any change, no matter how small, I am grateful. To recall the taste of pure water once more, and to know that we have yet the power to fight our decline. Yeah. Others shall doubtless be heartened. Keep thine ears open, for one day thou may hearken unto a chorus of dragons' roars. I hope so. If I ever return here, I hope this place is nice and clean. Because it's not locked in... How does it exist now that the End Singer is gone, now that Medion's gone? Maybe they just made this manifest so it kind of exists independently of her. Alright, Kol Alan. That once rang clear. Kol Allah fears for the welfare of a friend. Little wanderer, hast thou the courage to ken what awaits beyond this oasis? My kin, twisted body and soul, are turned to ash, all long since rotted underneath. Wilt thou adventure amidst these horrors to see if our brother yet stands? Ne'er hath he moved from his place of mourning ere his consort was thus entombed. Would that I could bring him the solace of a gentle touch, but I dare not seek him now. Shouldst thou wish it, thou shalt know him by the pallor of the Forsaken. I will look for one with the pallor of the Forsaken, then. Pale Dragon, you have the pallor of the Forsaken, and it makes sense, because you're looking at your roasted lover, so yeah. The dragon, like so many others, is mired in his own grief. He may draw his attention if you pet him gently, as Kolala suggested. I am so happy I get to pet the dragon. I mean, I guess I could always pet the dragon, but, you know, it's nice to be able to actually pet it and have it not want to kill me. Thy gentle caress, like unto the warmth of more joyous times. Thou art not of my kind. Why hast thou come? So he has not yet forgotten me. I pity him. At times I wonder if my love doth pity me in turn, all of us unchanging, unable to be reborn. Yet if naught else remains of us, we have memory. Thus do I remain beside my beloved, through a thousand quiet moments, forever. Would she want that? I kind of doubt it. I know a dragon who once believed herself forsaken. Are we talking about Tiamat? There's a better way to honor your love. Weave a song. Let's go with weave a song. Thou believest I need not languish in silence. Perhaps thou art correct. My beloved was generous, noble, and took much joy in our skies. None is more deserving of a proud melody. I have not the strength to weave it in this moment, but perhaps in time. I thank thee for guiding me aright. Pray tell Kolala we will meet again. Again, this is about, this whole series of side quests seems about setting up moments of small hope, like rather than like really curing their malaise. Kolale, how fareth my kin? It could be better, but could be worse. I see. Thou art wiser than thou knowest, for our brother was once renowned for his verse. It would be an honor and a joy to hear his voice raised in song again. Perhaps when next you return, thou shalt hear it as well. I hope so. And then we have one more in Dragon Town here. From Unmourning Mother. Unmourning. Parents' love. This mother worries for her child. Is the mother in denial? Thou canst leave this place. Find my child in my stead, I beg thee. She doubtless wants for her mother's warmth, but my kin permit me not to quit this nest. They feign contrition, but if they truly pitied me, they would allow me to seek my child. Thou must go and assure me of her safety. I don't know that I'll see her safely, but I'll find her the truth of her at least. The last I saw of my child, she was but a short distance from the shallow lake. Ask her how she fares, I beg thee. I'll look in on her, but she's probably a roasted, toasted chicken McNugget. No! She's not a roasted, toasted chicken McNugget. She lives. Empty-eyed dragon. Well, she doesn't look like she's that happy, but... ... The dragonling... I guess you're pretty small compared to those. The dragonling stares blinking across the desolate landscape, eyes glassy enough that you cannot be certain she even remains among the living. I mean, she's bobbing and weaving like she remains among the living. Oh, that's it. Clearly all is not well with this dragon, her mother would surely wish to know. That is a rough ending. Here comes the bearer of bad tidings, a mourning mother. This cannot be. Thou must have given her a dreadful fright for her to freeze so, though she hath never been fond of strangers. 'Tis clear than ever I must see her myself. If only I could be freed from the watchful eyes of my consort. Where's your consort? Not moments ago did I feel his gaze upon me. Once so loving, yet now so bitterly cold. How he doth patronize me. Thine eyes bespeak curiosity. My consort was much the same in times past, ever desiring to know more. Pity he changed so. Nevertheless, he would surely divulge much if thou wert to speak with him. Thou needst only seek the least pleasant countenance here. So we seek the grumpiest dragon. Who is the grumpiest dragon? I was afraid she had, like, just totally broken up, was like, hallucinating and, like, seeing visions. Like, she was like, yes, my consort is right next to me. Doth thou not seest him? But no, the consort is over here. Stoic consort. Verily she was my beloved consort, but she is lost to me now. Thou sought her progeny, didst thou not? Then thou knowest as well as I. That dragonling was stripped of all she was by the machines. I recall the battle, the burst of heat and light, her smoldering form. I know not what occurred, but when I returned to myself she was there, neither dead nor truly alive, as if imprisoned in her final moments by some cruel deity, and so she hath remained ever since. When she found us, my consort broke somewhere deep within. She seeth naught beyond her child, though I do not imagine she seeth her true. And now she hath gone, thou knowest whence. 'Twas inevitable. I'm confused. I guess they're saying that the daughter is the daughter is like catatonic. The dragonling is catatonic basically, and the mother won't admit to it. Don't bite the cords. We're back at the empty-eyed dragon where the unmourning mother is. The mother lies still, never to again to wake. I probably shouldn't be rubbing a happy flying dragon laying in her face, so let's dismiss Midgardsormr, actually. That is horrible. I mean, maybe she confronting the truth, like confronting and seeing what actually became of her daughter, she just couldn't sustain herself anymore. Oh my god. Empty-eyed dragon. This is rough as hell. Empty-eyed dragon. My dear, I shall love until the end of time. Hold on, I thought the empty-eyed dragon was the daughter. Who said that? That was the empty-eyed dragon. I thought it might be the... The dragonling speaks no more. Her mother's consort should be informed of what has happened here. I don't even know what's happened here. Follow the mother the only place she could have gone, or confronting with the shocking scene of her corpse. More surprisingly still are the words that then ring forth, seemingly from her still static daughter. Because the words that rang forth are like the mother's words. I mean, I shall love until the end of time, my dear. I am definitely confused about the mechanic. I get the gist of that, but I am confused about what the mechanics and implications are of what we just witnessed. Is strange, though no stranger than the rest, perhaps. Thou couldst not change their fates, yet in learning our tale thou hast come to share my burden, and theirs as well. I thank thee. Yet Kukusha's depression job is leveling up. That's it? You have to give me the happy quest completion music, don't you? Thank you. Thank you, game. Thanks for that. Ugh. 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 Again, maybe... Ooh, I leveled up. Maybe something was... Maybe there was something cathartic there, but... And now the consort's gone. Okay. Okay. So that's it for Dragontown, and now we're off to Snootyville, to Aya, to the land of the Aya. So we're at the abode of the Aya now for the quest that popped up here, Yearning Aya, the body beautiful. The Yearning Aya appears to be gazing at you intently. Greetings, unfamiliar life form. Being that you bear a corporeal form, as surely as you can see, do not, perhaps you might offer me a way out of my predicament. You see, I have been attempting to fashion a vessel that may house our weary souls. Sadly, with no model to work from, I am ashamed to admit that my experiments have failed, and rather spectacularly at that. You want to make a Kakushu-shaped vessel? Understandable. You may have noticed that byproducts of my failed labors, as they now wander aimlessly and pathetically about these environs. I had intended to clean this mess myself, but the task may prove difficult for a formless being such as myself. Might you put the pitiful creatures out of their misery in my stead? So is that what the... Yeah, I guess that's what those diamond gem, with those golden creatures, like those kind of blobby creatures are. I thank you, curious one. If you might also excuse me. Face rubs and rubs in general cannot wait. I thank you, curious one. If you might also retrieve for me their internal cores in the process, I dare say it would be of great benefit to me in the future experiments. In any event, I eagerly await word of your inevitable success. Alright, let's call some failed experiments. Yeah, these are the Luminions I thought of. They're kind of tough to describe, aren't they? And I've... Like, they're like almost like creatures made out of coins. Yearning Aya, well, do the unwitting products of my labors suffer no more? And have you brought their cores back to me? If so, do return them to me. I have. So Luminion cores. Crystalline core obtained from a Luminion. So this is the blue thing that was kind of, that there were, the coins were surrounding. Yes, these are without a doubt the cores that form the doleful hearts of my kind. While I am disheartened to see my efforts end this way, I can only learn what I can from my failures, that my future experimentations might give rise to a satisfactory vessel. In any event, oh, look at those little happy hands you just gave. God, the AR is just such a cool design. Look at that, it's like liquid space. It has been quite some time since we have encountered any entities with even a modicum of intelligence as you seem to possess. I dare say our conversations have provided us with a sliver of stimulation that has eluded us for ages. You are more positive than many of the Aya. I am grateful for your assistance in more ways than one. I do hope the day will come when we can one day meet each other. How might you say it? In the flesh? Well played. We will continue east to Bodily Curiosity. Is this video gonna turn into like something a little bit NSFW? Bodily Curiosity. The envious Aya heaves a sigh as they look your body up and down. It's jealousy. Again, I understand it. Ah, look at those rosy cheeks and that sharp silhouette. While our own decision to discard our corporeal forms was of course an enlightened one at the time, I must confess there are some times when I fondly think back on the days when I, too, was a tangible being. Oh, what I would not give to don proper fleshy raiments once more before I pass into the void. To that end, I have been exploring the possibility of inhabiting another physical form, but I fear there is a rub. The game told me. For you see, I cannot recall for the life of me what my true form once was. I blame it on the execrable and excruciating flow of time. Alas, I doubt I could even manipulate a body now if I wanted to. Mayhap you might indulge me with a serviceable demonstration. Am I going to have to dance again? Your elongated appendages greatly contrast with our current gaseous composition, but I wonder if your general sense of mobility was similar to that of our original physical presences. So let us see it then. Humor me with a display of sheer joy. No, we're going to have to do the joy emote. Again, it's understand... He's lurking. It does seem like the sort of thing that, yeah, a Lalafell expressing joy is a thing to behold. Yay. Intriguing. You discharge a great sound from your phonatory appendage and make these rather suggestive gestures. Quite different from how we express delight with subtle telepathy. Kokushu is pretty suggestive. Now, I would like to replicate the movements in preparation for the next time we meet an innocent and amicable traveler like yourself. I guess I'd just say it's ahem. There's no real coughing ability for the AO, is there? Ahem. Allow me to try. In the process, I may gain some insight as to whether our erstwhile bodies once moved in a similar manner. Yes, you did great. No, you did very well. It seems I cannot fully mimic the vocalizations you produce, nor can I garner enough momentum against the air to move my body as quickly. Let me try a different approach. I feel as though I had a comparable frame, especially those tentacle-esque appendages dangling from your sides. What did you call them? Hands, was it? Yes, our primitive little weird hands. Anyhow, I am curious as to the degree of velocity you can generate with said appendages. Should you be agreeable, I would like you to swing those hands with great speed, and strike me with as much force as you can muster. Why? You want me to slap you? Sate the envious Aya's curiosity with a slap. Is this how we're gonna save them from joy? We're gonna give them fetishes? Save them from despair, we'll give them fetishes? Maybe. Whatever works. Slap. Now say daddy in the chat. My word, the impact of that strike was so considerable that I felt it to the very depths of my soul. I can only hope there were no feelings of genuine hatred or indignation behind it. There were not. There was pure love behind my slap. But alas, it is of no use. Even your most energetic motions seem insufficient to jog my memory. Perhaps our physical frames were not so analogous after all. If that is the case, I would make one more request for you. Oh God. You have ventured to many different places and met many different life forms, have you not? Among the many creatures you have met, is there not one that possessed a similar form to that which you might surmise we once did? The flan. The flan back in Eorzea. You're like a flan. You're like a flan with big heads, or like a flan plus Vivi. There's a tribe of beasts who are viscous to the touch and squeak when they move. Or I know that's the flan, right? I didn't think of them as a tribe. I'm trying to think if there is someone else they're thinking of. Is there a different beast tribe we met that's viscous to the touch? I'm just going through the different expansions in my head. I'm probably missing something, but not that I remember. I know of a portly Piscine race with tails and long whiskers. So that's the Sahagin, right? No, the Sahagin aren't portly. Oh no, you're thinking of the catfish. I think it's the viscous to the touch and squeak when they move. Are they talking about the I can't remember for the life of me what the name of the catfish race is. The Namazu. Are they talking about... I don't know if they remind me of the Namazu, but I'll say there's a tribe, but yeah, I'll say the first one. Fascinating. It's if a bit difficult to picture. Or mayhap you could hold an image of them in your mind's eye for me. I shall read it and attempt a metamorphosis. Do we really want to create Namazu here? I don't know that we do. Oh God, what are we going to get here? That's a pretty good Namazu. I have to take a... This is unexpected. This is not what I thought I would see here. Well, they are somewhat rotund, with ocular faculties of a comparable size. Allow me to perform a locomotive experiment with this body shape. Very well then. First, a gesture of joy, then a vivacious slap to the face. Which was that joy? That's disturbing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh dear. I see that the clammy appendages beside this creature's phonatory apparatus are distinct from the hands that you possess, and somehow I feel the urge to utilize them despite their absence. I really hope that I never see another Namazu do that little grabby thing with their tentacles on their face ever again with their whiskers. Something unholy about that gesture. At least you're happy. Sort of. I mean, the music makes me think you're happy. Ugh. Given that my immediate and synaptic responses are misaligned, it would seem that the erstwhile forms of Weea are, unfortunately, rather dissimilar from your Piscine friends. I apologize for the needless detour. I really thought it would be more like the Flan. But I guess they do have arms. I mean, the Ea have arms. How bothersome it is to be unable to assimilate with the frame of another creature. For lack of memory, it would seem that regaining our physical forms will be even more challenging a task than we originally suspected. While today's experiment has ended in failure, I appreciate the stimulation you have provided me. Take this compensation for your efforts. Just keep reading, just keep reading. Yes, the mind is a fickle thing. I only hope that I will recall what I once looked like while I still possess my mental faculties. Well, I have received payment for stimulating the Ea's bodily curiosity. So, I guess that's another job to add to Kakushu's repertoire. Goodbye, my curious, envious friend. So we got Come Back to Us. Interesting name. Kind of mournful. Jaw-Jodge. Jaw-Jodge admits a muffled noise resembling a cough. Flashy one, come hither. I have a task of some import I would entrust to you. Worry not, it should be well within your capacities. You see, I wish to summon back one of my fellow Ea who lingers at the gate to the beyond. The gate to the like you've an Ea who's about to die, and you want to summon them back. Why? To what end they wait there? I do. Oh, the gate to the beyond, like the physical gate to outside this town. Gotcha. To what end they wait there, I do not know. What I do know is that if they do not return to us, their spirit will eventually... Oh, no, maybe they did mean that. Eventually unravel, leaving them nothing but a wandering entity like those on the outside. That sounds like a bad fate. And so I would ask you to summon them back to our abode before they are consigned to such a fate. Can you do this for me? Can't you do it yourself? No, leave it to me. I will help. My little ghosty friend. I am much obliged. Simply make for the gate and call out to my friend. Might I suggest a variant of the traditional Ea beckoning? Allow me to demonstrate. I can't do anything that might be approaching that. Cool. Sorry, Pigeon. So we are amidst the drifting Ea now. Let's do it badly. Let's just say coup. Distant voice. Is that a beckoning I hear? The timbre of your cooing sounded rather dull. Does that response change based on how many O's I include? I'll bet it does. Anyhow, if it is you seek, you will find me to the north of where you stand. Okay, why are you wandering out here? These Aya don't seem especially happy, they're just drifting. Well, none of the Aya are especially happy, I guess. Are you the one who summoned me? No wonder your voice sounded so strange with that fleshy body of yours. I have not seen your kind before. Might you have come here from afar? Yes, quite far. I see. Then you must feel very privileged to have stumbled upon us. This gate here serves as the ingress to our bastion of enlightenment. All who come from afar to seek such knowledge must pass through. Oh, that gate? I guess. I have stood here for so long expecting a visitor. Perhaps it is you for whom I have waited. I could see myself ready to greet someone from another world. But why do you come to us now in this moment? Because a bunch of side quest exclamation points popped up. And why from the village, not toward? Oh, did they now? That is an unexpected development. In any event, I was waiting for someone, and that someone has come. There is no need to wait any further. Let Jaj be assured that I shall return anon. I will tell that to Jaj. I think I've pronounced Jaj's name like 4 different ways in the space of 3 attempts. Jaj. I am pleased to inform you that our friend has returned, and our debates are more amusing for it. It seems I was wise to enlist the help of an outsider. As you may be aware, this settlement was originally conceived as a place where we might explore and one day solve the mysteries of our universe. Many Aya made the pilgrimage here to contribute to this great cause. Oh, how little we knew. As such, it is not uncommon for someone to wait at the gates for a guest. Tradition, really. However, my friend, for whatever their reasons, waited overly long. So long that their spirit remembers the act itself, but they have no memory of who they wish to meet there. Those things are incredibly sad to me. It's one of the reasons just the idea of memory slipping away. It's a reason I like the Elidibus storyline. It's also a reason that I think Dark Souls 2 is underrated. Now that they have come for them, they feel that they have fulfilled what they set out to do. They have been set free from lingering thoughts that bound them. At any rate, I am grateful to you for returning my friend to our ranks. Here, I would offer this as a token of thanks. You're quite welcome. Furthermore, I am relieved you were able to make the beckoning call in the right tone. If you had cued instead of cooed, it would have been equivalent to telling them that their mind was as empty as a hollow crater, and I doubt they would have been amused. I'm glad I didn't make that mistake. I wonder if what would happen if you actually typed CUE there. If you would have gotten a different response. Say Seath. Eat like an Aya. We've attempted to taste their food before. Seath wishes to express their gratitude to you. Words cannot express my gratitude to you, traveler, as it is thanks to you that I now remember the wonderfully unpleasant pangs of hunger. It is truly a blessing. Why is it a blessing? Hunger sucks. And since you are here, allow me to ask you a question. Have you perhaps come across an Aya at the very edge of the land, gazing vacantly into the great beyond? I would like them to join me for dinner, if I may trouble you to ask. Okay. I believe my friend would appreciate the finer pleasures of eating as well. I merely hope they have not already drifted too far. I hope so too. Weary Aya. Yes, what do you want of me, stranger? Food? What is this food you speak? Oh ho! Yes, I do believe I am beginning to remember. Victuals, sustenance. That said, your unusual appearance suggests to me that our concepts of what constitute a meal differ greatly. What is that over there? I'm just looking at what's to the east there. It's like a whole other city. That's awesome. Pray tell me, do you enjoy the act of eating? I very much enjoy it. If it tastes good, of course. Yes. I'll say even if it doesn't taste... Actually, I guess it's if it doesn't taste bad, because eating itself, even if the food is mediocre, can be a pleasant experience. Intriguing. What precisely constitutes something tasting good? I surmise this means that it evokes feelings of pleasure within you. How cute. No, you're not being condescending now. I take that back. I too wish I could experience this concept of taste for myself. Sadly, in my current state, things are not possible. Such things are not possible. Ah, but perhaps you might briefly lend me your corporeal form for the experience. I promise that I will give it back once my curiosity is sated. Yeah, hop on in. Possess away. Oh, never mind. Well, you cannot blame me for asking, but it is no matter. I shall take it by force. I kind of doubt that, but you can certainly try. Phoenix, I summon you. FFXIV. Oh, we had to kill you. Well, I don't know what happens to the FFXIV at this point. Or to any of these creatures that we quote-unquote kill. I don't think they just die, because if they could, then I think that's an option that would have been taken a while back. Maybe they're just sent into some drifting, dreaming form. That would be tremendously sad. But it's also probably the case, if I had to guess. Alright, Sayseeth. You have returned, and yet you wear a troubled expression. Did something amiss happen out there on your travels? Yeah, they tried to possess and kill me. Oh dear, to think their mind had already deteriorated to such an extent. I knew their mental decline had progressed, and I had been worried they would eventually go mad and drift away. I had hoped the memories of a good meal could bring them back to us, but to attempt to rob someone of their physical form like that, it would seem they were already well beyond my reach. So they do have a pretty decent moral foundation, at least, the Aya. Like, in the small stuff, at least. Like, they understand consent. I am quite sorry for having forced you into such an uncomfortable position, as well as the unceremonious way in which you were treated by one of our own. Here, pray accept this as a token of my most sincere apologies. It was not your fault. You were trying to do a good thing for your friend. I have no problem with you. Alright, the penultimate one of this group. The Anxious Aya. A life of regret. Snow white and soot black dye. Interesting. Interesting reward. The Anxious Aya looks skyward. Still no response. I wonder if they have already scattered to the wind. That would be ever so unfortunate, you see. What are you looking at? My, what a large cranial dome you have. And impeccable timing. I have quite the large brain. My esteemed colleague often holds council at their home here, and they have not emerged in quite some time. Perhaps you could pay a visit and see what the trouble may be? I can try, but I don't know what I'm going to do that is different from what you're just doing. I guess we can attune, but they can attune too, I think. Leave me. There's nothing left. The anguished groans of the Aya are resonating in your head. Tell the anxious Aya you were able to find remnants of their friend's thoughts. I didn't even notice that. Send out an empathetic wave toward the... I guess that's what we did. We sent an empathetic wave. Anxious Aya. I see. If they mean to melodramatically evanesce into the abyss in the comfort of their own home, and they ought to respect their wishes. That's fair. And yet, I feel the need to be selfish and keep them here to confabulate further on such views. Yes, I shall have to talk them out of it. I think it's also fair when it's something as serious as that, if they say go away, I think it's okay to be a little persistent. For that, I shall need your help once more, large-headed but wholly capable stranger. I would, if I were given that title instead of Endwalker, I would absolutely use it. Could you fetch me a neurological sinew from an other one? You should find the another one. You should find them wondering about the wellspring of regret. All right, let's go kill someone and take its sinew. See you in a sec. We've killed one of those catastrophe-looking tentacle eye monsters and got its sinew. Bah, it is of no use. The walls of their humble abode are far too thick for my telepathy to penetrate. Did you bring me the sinew? Yes, nerve tissue. This massive nerve tissue procured from an other one still pulsates unsettling in your hands. Gross. Perfect. This zigzagging fibrous cord is exactly what I need to amplify my telepathy, my empathy. These do extinguish quickly, but it should be enough for me to rile my friend with some provocative persiflage. I don't know what that word means, I'm looking it up. I'm guessing it just means like banter or sass, something like that. Persiflage. Light and slightly contemptuous mockery or banter. Yeah, okay. Never heard of that before. I guess it's working. I guess they're bantering. They're persiflaging. Anxious Aya's friend. My mind still smarts. Your worn-out jape was bad enough, but did you have to shock me as well? Your friend thought you were about to dissipate. Anxious Aya. I had entirely forgotten that, despite coming from a dumb beast, the neurological sinew from the other one would still transmit its last jolting thought. The killing blow you dealt it. Oh, crap. So you just kind of felt like a burst of fire and a rapier stabbing through you. My bad. Well, actually, no, it's your bad. Anxious Aya's friend. Yes, well, it was enough to traumatize me back onto this plane, that much is certain. I think I shall take a stroll around the plaza to rid myself of that unpleasant sensation. Good day. Oh, there's a little wave there. There's some affection there. Blink, blink. My friend was always a bit melodramatic in their conduct, but I do believe I will have to keep a closer eye on them from now on. Moth. Aside from their close call with dispersion, they are showing other signs that they are losing their faculties. We have a friendship that spans millennia. They can stand to wait a bit longer until the void takes us all. It would be dreadfully boring without their curt, fatalistic commentary. This is sincerely sweet. This is a sincerely sweet scene. I like this. This whole quest. That being said, I shall make for the plaza as well. If they somehow manage to careen towards the elutriation tank, I shall be very irritated. Now I'm Googling elutriation. The removal of substances from a mixture by washing and decanting. I think they just called, like, a communal bath the elutriation tank. Oh, and I do very much appreciate your assistance. I do not have much to offer, but I hope this all shall suffice. Thank you for saving my friend's life. You're welcome. I like this encounter with the Aya, this whole thing. We'll take Snow White die. This whole encounter is great. It's very, very good. And it's a wrap-up. It's like them dealing with a little bit of aftermath. Not the aftermath of anything that we just went through in the Endsinger trials or anything like that. Just general aftermath. And the last one here, Boph-bookh. Remember me. Boph-bookh is whispering to themselves anxiously. So just immediately getting Emote vibes from that quest name, but just the name of it. Nothing about the AI, just the name of it. Boph-bookh. Oh, hello. Forgive me, I am distracted. One would think we would have evolved beyond fear, knowing what we do. But I must confess that I am rather frightened at the prospect of losing who I am. Understandable, it sounds terrifying. Not in the physical sense, of course, as we Ea have transcended our corporeal forms. We do, however, feel the gradual corrosion of our mind, our memories, that which makes us, so to speak. Again, as someone with a terrible memory, this is a legit fear of mine. There are ways, however, to slow this inevitable process. One such method is to come in contact with another and confirm with each other during our defining qualities. Therein lies my dilemma, for you see, a friend most dear to me is missing, and I fear their absence will only quicken their own passing into nothingness. It would mean much to me if you could help me find them. Should they be so far as gone as to meet you with hostility, simply subdue them and return them to me. Here, you can use this to bind their essence to a retrievable form. The fact that you're giving me this tells me that I will need to fight them. There may yet be hope. They enjoyed taking contemplative strolls at a once scenic spot on the opposite edge of this landmass. Even if their memories fade, it is likely they might drift in that direction. Is that what I'm gonna be? Just some 80-year-old with vague memories of Final Fantasy IV, drifting vaguely towards the Super Nintendo. Not impossible. What is this lasso? Psychosuppressive rope. A length of mysterious pulsating cord. There's a lot of things I've been handling that have been pulsating and stringy today. Pulsating cord fashioned to subdue and capture non-corporeal entities. Is this just going to be a standard AI monster? Quite a large one. Expansive one. Yeah, quite a large one with some despair eyes, as they call them in the Danganronpa series. They got the swirlies. I've returned with your friend, Boph-bookh. I have searched throughout the abode, but my companion is nowhere to be found. I wonder if it is too late. Lost Ea, all that remains of an unfortunate Ea who wandered too far from the abode, and in doing so lost what little remained of themselves. It's a legitimate... It's legitimately disturbing. It's sincerely this whole thing is legitimately disturbing to me. And also very sweet, because I hope that... I think there's a good chance if that happens to me, I'm just going to be reaping what I've sown throughout my life and just going to be lost alone. But hopefully there might be people who would be willing to pull me back. The poor thing, to think they were so far gone. Still, I am glad you were able to find them. This will now allow me to absorb what remains of their mind into my own. It's like you're renting a house together, but your house is your body. There is no cause for alarm. The procedure should have negligible effect on my faculties. If my friend can no longer recognize me, I have no choice but to become host for the memories they themselves can no longer recall. I wasn't expecting to... God bless this game. Dust in my eye. Excuse me. These visions, yes, they are my friend's memories. They have grown faint with the loss of their owner's identity, but they have not yet dissipated completely. And what is this? Yes, they still have memories of me. Dim as they are, they now serve to remind me of who I, myself, once was. Pop. Pop. And yet, as the memories come together, the identity that is Boph-bookh begins to flicker and waver. Yes, I must speak the final words that will become my epitaph while I am able. Fortunately, there is someone here who will remember them for me. So taking on their memories is going to make you lose yourself? In my final moments, I must define myself. I would call myself a realist, others would call me a coward. Which am I to believe as I become one with the void, and in the end, does it matter? This is screwing me up. This whole thing is messing me up. Yes, that should do. That said, I feel most peculiar. I am not of one mind now, but two. In truth, I am not so even sure those words I recited were my own. Do not skip this cutscene. All I know is that these words reflect the me that exists now, for I, standing before you, did recite them. And even if one day my identity should dissipate, these words will remain with you as a vestige of what I once was. That is of some comfort to me, for no one should be forgotten. Even if they forget themselves. I hope your own memories will live on long within you, and within those who have shared this existence with you. Are my thoughts able to reach you? I had composed the most disconsolate of dirges to express the state of the universe, but the melody already threatens to elude. There it goes. And my memory continues to fade. Things I didn't expect was that doing the side quest would make me actually cry. Okay. Okay. Just a sec. I'll be back in just a second. I'm back. Sorry, I just needed a minute. That was that was one of my favorite side quests I've seen and done and played through. So if you're here, thank you for journeying with me. And that's going to be it for this session, for the Tales of Ultima Thule Part 2. Next time, I think I'm going to try to check out the raids, but I don't remember if I think I'll try to check out the raid. So that's going to be it for me for now. Thanks for watching. I will see you all later. If you enjoyed this, if you want to see more, like and subscribe, and it's greatly appreciated. I love you all. Goodbye.